Since 1863, thousands of the greatest thoroughbred horses of all time have raced in Saratoga Springs, New York, but only one touched enough hearts to have a street named after him.
Working hard to stay within striking distance. And Fourstardave puts it in another gear around the turn. He's opened up by 2.5 now, and 3 lengths as they come to the top of the stretch. And Fourstardave, Mike Smith riding confidently as they come down to the wire, and then expensive decision, Indian toss, and Kate's Valentine. On the wire, Fourstardave bounds home wire to wire, wins it by 5.5.
He's terrific. He's got a heart as big as the tree. And he tries, and he loves racing, and he loves people. He's a real ham, you know, he loves to get his picture taken. He likes to be on camera, as we all do, probably.
It is now Fourstar. There it is, Fourstardave race.
In my career of riding, I rode a lot of good horses. I never saw a horse have a street name after him. Not even after me. I'm very jealous of him.
The horse loves to run, and because his fans love to see him run, and because it makes him feel young, and that's something that we all want to do.
Yeah, as a 3-year-old, he was pretty popular because he had won a 2 and he won a stake, and probably because Angel Cadero was riding him as a 3-year-old, he was very, very popular.
I'm thrilled. As a horse owner, something like this never happens to anybody. And for it to happen to me is a little bit beyond belief.
We are going to retire a stall at Saratoga today, and the plaque says, "The summer home of Fourstardave, the legend of Saratoga, dedicated August 27th, 1994. Thank you for joining us to salute a really great racehorse."
Fourstardave, he was a very tough horse from the time he was a baby, so we had to geld him. All the reports we got from Florida was that he could run.
He has raced in 5 states and 2 continents during his illustrious career, but Fourstardave cemented his legend among the magnificent beauty and splendor of Saratoga Racecourse.
And I have a key to the city, which I will pass over, and it'll open all kinds of doors and hearts in the city of Saratoga Springs. And I have a brief proclamation also from the city. Whereas throughout his distinguished career, Fourstardave has inspired many thousands of people with his extraordinary talent, courage, stamina, and determination to win. And whereas over the years, Fourstardav's appearances at the Saratoga Thoroughbred Racetrack have delighted his many local fans, and whereas Fourstardav's natural abilities and personality continue to win him the admiration of racing fans everywhere. Now therefore I, Almeda C. Dake, Mayor of the City of Saratoga Springs, New York, take pleasure in declaring August 27th, 1994, Fourstardave Day in Saratoga Springs.
Probably the single most fortunate thing I did was buying a mare, or filly at the time. She was sort of a ratty-looking thing. And I paid $2,500 for her, and her name was Broadway Joan. She couldn't run, I didn't know what to do with her, and I had bought a piece of a stallion named Compliance. I bred the 2, and out came one of the greatest line of horses in America. He showed a lot right away on the farm. He was something special. As a matter of fact, I bred 4 or 5 horses that year and sold 3 or 4 of them, and we decided to keep Dave. Dave was the best of all of them. And I'll never forget his first race. We were at Belmont, a race which he won. And there was supposed to be a killer in there, a horse that couldn't lose. And everyone on the track was talking about this other horse. Dr. Carrington, I believe his name was, a real speedball, and Dave buried him. We went right by him in a stretch, and then we knew we had someone pretty good.
He amazes me. He just comes back better and better each year. I can't figure it out. It's just, he must have an unbelievable heart. As a 2-year-old, his first run up there was a stake race, and he won that. And every year he returned, actually, he would win in Saratoga.
In America, Saratoga is the feature race meeting. To have Dave win up there my first year, it was a stake race. It was a New York bred 2-year-old stake race. And it was a muddy, muddy day. I remember when we went to take the picture in the winner's circle, the mud was up to my ankles, but I didn't care. It could have been up to my head, and I wouldn't have cared. I was so happy.
On August 28, 1987, the largely unknown 2-year-old won the Empire Stakes. It was the beginning of an amazing streak.
He was the type of horse that loved people, and the people can come close by and see him, and he can see everything that's going on. And he has a window on the back of his stall too, so he could watch the horses training on the training track. And I think he liked that also. He just kind of seemed to fall in love with the place himself. So each time he would come up there, he gave a much better effort, like, you know. And then the fans become sort of involved, and then the 4th year is even more, and then it kind of gets on a streak, like, you know, and then the 5th and 6th and 7th. God, I thought it would never end. I was hoping it wouldn't.
I said, let's go now, 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 let's go, go, go.
To own a horse like him, it's very hard to explain, because I could spend $5–10 million a year buying horses, and you can't buy a horse like Dave. Like I've said before, you can sit up in the clubhouse of Saratoga and see the most famous people in the world in racing, and every single one of them knew me and knew about Fourstardave, and I think every single one of them would have given anything to have a horse like him. He just comes along once every 100 years.
4 for the first quarter. Fourstardave opens up that lead to 4 lengths. Currently red second.
On July 29th, 1991, Fourstardave won the Darrell's Joy Stakes race at Saratoga in the record time of 1 minute 38 4/5 seconds, the fastest 1 1/16 miles ever run at any track on any surface in the history of New York racing.
Fourstardave, who takes the field into the far turn with a 2-length lead.
He seemed to know when the camera was rolling, and he seemed to know when the people wanted to win, and he would give it. Where Fourstardave won on soft ground, sloppy tracks, hard tracks. You know, he won everything. He broke the track record several times.
The hedge now. Then towards the outside, it's Senor Speedy, followed by Currently Red. After that, it's Kate Valentine. Quick call, and who's to pay? Into the home stretch. 3/4, 9 and 1. Fourstardave still there and still strong on the 8th pole. 5-length lead. Kate Valentine rallies to be second. Who's to pay is putting in his run on the hedge now and moves through, followed by Horatio Lareau. They are in deep stretch, and it's all Fourstardave.
Well, after he'd won the 3rd or 4th year, I don't recall, I went to the track publicity department and I said, what's the record for winning at a racetrack most years in a row? And nobody knew. They say, oh, maybe a horse won here 2 years in a row or 3 years in a row. We put out a magazine, a horse racing magazine, American Turf Monthly, so we put him on the cover and we said, Fourstardave, the Sultan of Saratoga. Well, that was it. And then it really picked up and caught on.
And they're rounding the far turn, and it's still Fourstardave, fending off Carterista as they make the approach into the top of the stretch. Rinkadas is running in 3rd position, Flying American is 4th, and Fourstardave turns for home, and he's pulling away. Fourstardave in front by 3, and Fleck will try to mount a late challenge. Fourstardave a furlong from victory 7 years in a row. On the outside, Fleck is running second. They're coming down to the line. Fourstardave, a living Saratoga legend, and he wins by 2.
In terms of his class, he was just a horse that probably outran his breeding.
It's been a real privilege being involved with Fourstardave. He has all the great qualities you look for in a good person. He's honest, he works hard, he gives you his best every time, and I truly love Fourstardave. I'd like to thank the Bombseys, the Connaughtons, and the O'Briens for letting me be involved with a horse's name who's become synonymous with Saratoga. And thank you, the fans. It's great to see everybody with all this outpouring of affection for Fourstardave.
The name developed from an employee that I had working here, a fellow named Dave, when he would like a ball game a lot, he'd say, "Oh, that's a 4-star game." So I came up with Fourstardave.
When he was 8 years old and making his 80th start, Dave delivered a smashing performance in the 1993 Poker Stakes at Belmont Park, setting a new stakes record of 1 minute 33 seconds flat for the 1 mile race. It was the second time he won the event, and he broke his own stakes record in the process.
Continuing their run onto the backstretch, and the two-way battle for that early lead. Down towards the inside, Fourstardave short lead. Larry Trumpets has moved up and taken over second. Three to Maxi Groom. Back and forth is Leck. Running along nicely in fifth now is Adam Smith. Then the Gray, Scott the Great, and 5 back to Maxi Groom, still trailing in second.
Dave is a miracle. He's like a miracle horse. Dave would be a 56-year-old human athlete, and he's running against high school and college athletes.
Coming down to the final furlong, Fourstardave is hanging tough with the lead. Adam Smith driving hard, Leck next in third, and Scott the Great 50 yards from the line. Fourstardave will win it. Adam Smith will be second, and Leck.
We have a thing called bee pollen that he seems to love now. I don't know what it does, but I'm going to take some myself.
There was one race in year 7, I believe, of the winning streak, where Dave fell to his knees, was literally on the ground, and was dead last, 10 lengths behind everyone else in the race.
I never want to be beat. Always want to win.
Social Retiree has moved into second. Majesty's Time is now third. On the outside, Fourstardave has recovered from that very clumsy beginning and is now running fourth on the outside.
It was almost a fate kind of situation where, you know, he was just going to finish first, and that was going to be it. And that there was nothing in that was going to stop him. no act of God, nature, or a starting gate for that matter, that was going to stop him from winning. And that too, of course, lent great credibility and to the story of the horse.
Fourstardave has moved into second now, and just to his inside is the favorite, Social Retiree. The half one in 47-1. They're less than a half mile out. JG is still the leader. Fourstardave is second. Social Retiree on the inside third. Turtle Beach is moving into contention right there now. And then it's Wild Cataract, followed by Majesty's Time and Excellent Tipper. They're moving toward the top of the stretch. JG still holding on short lead. Fourstardave is right there with them. Turtle Beach on the outside. Wild Cataract, Social Retiree in behind horses. They're at the top of the stretch now. JG, Fourstardave making a final try for the lead now. Social Retiree crying out for running room. On the far outside, it's Wild Cataract. Excellent Tipper is coming on. Down on the inside, it's Majesty's Time. Wild finish coming here. Fourstardave leading the charge to the wire. Here's Excellent Tipper and Majesty's Time. Fourstardave, and the beat goes on. The old boy did it again.
Anyone who was there knows they witnessed one of the most amazing, courageous performances ever. He simply would not give up. His will carried him across the wire first. After a controversial steward's inquiry, Fourstardave was disqualified and knocked down to 5th place for a bumping incident in the stretch. They could take away the victory, but they could not take away the accomplishment. The crowd of over 35,000 attended one of the great individual efforts in Saratoga racing.
And he knew when he won. He knew all the time that he would win. And one year in Saratoga he won, he was taken down for a small incident going by a horse. And we continued to, like, you know, pet him and cheer him and, like, you know, let him know he won anyway, like, you know. And I don't think he really realizes he got disqualified.
Fourstardave is such a wonderful story. You'd love to see him win. He's a commoner in a game of royalty. He wasn't bred to any kind of regal connections in Kentucky. He was bred right here in New York State. That's why they love him so much.
He's standing with Fourstardav's connections, the owner Richard Bombs and his family, and his trainer Leo O'Brien, and really kind of a John Henry Peoples kind of horse. And you told me he expects to win here, doesn't he?
Absolutely. He thinks when he's in Saratoga, this is where everybody lets him win, but it's not that easy. There's quite a few nice young horses in here. He thinks he's a 3-year-old again when he gets to Saratoga, And actually, we believe and expect him to win also.
Here's a horse that has a fan club, a key to the city. He goes to parties. An interesting way that you look at him. He looks at the crowd, and then you know he thinks he's going to win?
Yes, when he comes out and he stops and looks into the stand and looks at the crowd, then we know he's going to run really, really good that day. Good. And he did that today.
Fourstardave has become something of a tradition himself here at Saratoga. For 7 consecutive years, he has won a stakes race. And today, at the age of 9, a tremendous crowd favorite. Just as an example of that, a year ago in the West Point, literally knocked to his knees coming out of the gate. He made up 15 lengths to win the race, ostensibly, then was disqualified. But as one, the crowd stood up and cheered Fourstardave, and they love him here at Saratoga. And he can run either from the front or he can run from behind. It doesn't matter to this horse. He seems to be able to confound everybody with his running style. You never know what he's going to do.
Winning 8 years in a row is a virtual impossibility. I mean, 7 was over the top. The 8th was really pushing it. There was a couple of tough horses in there, and the pressure was really on. There was a huge crowd at the racetrack that day, and Dave was doing quite well training-wise. He took an early lead going into the turn, and he kept widening the lead, and Tom Durkin, the track announcer, he started playing it up. And the whole length of the stretch, all he did was call Dave.
Fourstardave is poised in 3rd position. He's only a length and a half from the lead. And now Migliore makes his move with the old boy. There goes Fourstardave, and he sweeps to a short lead as the field turns for home. They're at the top of the stretch. Fourstardave coming a bit wide. Final Sunrise is there. Landef is in between him, and Fourstardave is 1 furlong away from 8 years worth of Saratoga victories. Here's the old boy coming down to the line. He's making a runaway of it. The legend lives on. Fourstardave wins again at the Spa. And a pan-pattern victory from Richard Migliore. The old boy did it again.
For the record, Dignitas was second. Vermont, back to you.